and that water's hot. It's kind of steamy hot. So you want your lids in another pot along with your jars there, and you want this all hot. And then she'll get a band here. She'll put a band on there. And then the jar's hot, that's why she's using a towel. So she puts that band on there and takes the little, and puts it in the pressure canner. And then she'll get her next one. Pour the hot water into the canner here. And then she'll start the process again. Alright, I'll get back with you as soon as we get most of these jars filled. I'm going to help her out. Okay, as you can see, we've got 7 quart jars in there. So, and the water is halfway up on those jars. I don't know if you can see that. So inside there. So just put your water level about halfway. Now we have a balls recipe book, and it says to pressure cook these for 1 hour and 30 minutes. So we'll get ready to start that process. But Maji, go ahead and seat your lid on there. Remember, you have to first start it a little bit past so it'll kind of seat down, and then twist it, because you have little feet. Act like a safety mechanism so the lid won't blow off. So you want this. So she's getting all the clamps ready. What you do is she finger tightens them first, you know, to where they're just barely on there. And then she'll do opposites at the same time. So same pressure. And then the next two, yep. And then the next two. So you notice how she did opposites to equalize out the pressure. Okay? And now we're going to go ahead and turn our stove on. We're going to go ahead and turn it on. Go ahead and power it up at 10. And then when steam starts coming out of this nozzle right here, then we're going to start timing for 7 minutes. And then that will evacuate all the air that's trapped in this pressure canner. You don't want any air in there. You want steam in there. So as soon as steam starts coming out of that nozzle right there, we'll start timing for 7 minutes. And after 7 minutes, then we'll put our pressure regulator valve on there. That's that circle thing. And then we'll wait till this gauge goes to 10 psi. That's 240 degrees. Once that gauge reaches 10, then we will start timing 1 hour and 30 minutes. You cannot let that gauge go below 10. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. But you can definitely see the water droplets coming out, but you can hear it. So it's steam starting to come out of that stem there. So we're going to start timing 7 minutes from this point. So, but you can definitely hear it. Okay, it's been 7 minutes, so Maji's going to put the valve on. So she put it on 10. So let me zoom in on that. 10's down. There's the 5 and the 15. But this particular process requires 10 pounds of pressure. Okay? And that water you see there, that's fine. Because there's steam coming out of there. That's normal, that's fine. So now we just wait for our pressure to build the 10, and then that's when we're going to start timing 1 hour and 30 minutes, because we have quart jars in here. If it was pint jars, it would be 1 hour 10 minutes. So you notice the pressure is building pretty good. Now we've got our stove cranked all the way up right now. So you notice it's at 10. Well, it could be on high, but we've got it at 10. And then after it builds pressure, then we're going to throttle it back to 4. 4 seems to work out pretty good, and it holds 10 psi for us. So when we first got this pressure canner, I experimented. We put water in the pressure canner and then started the process, and then that thing technically should jiggle 1 to 4 times in between a minute segment. And that way you know that you're maintaining a certain PSI. So, but you'll have to experiment with yours on where to set it on the stove versus what PSI you're at to maintain that PSI. So it's building. And then yes, today is about, you know, it's 98 degrees outside. No, I don't have my air conditioning on. As you can see, it's 4:21 in the afternoon. Hottest part of the day. Not the most ideal time to start this, but hey, you gotta can when you can. Haha, no pun intended. So it's building. We're just about there. And then after this starts, we're gonna watch this for a little while, and then you should technically monitor this all throughout the 1 hour and 30 minute process. So just in case something might happen. So, but our garage is right next to the kitchen here, and we're going to be doing some stuff in the garage. We're going to try and get out of this heat a little bit while this is going. So I want you all to see this. So it's building. Okay, now technically we can start the timer. So I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. Maji, you want to go ahead and start the timer while I'm filming this dial? I'm just going to go ahead and start the timer in the background. 1 hour and 30 minutes. Just hold it down. Oh, less. Okay, now I'll start on its own, but you heard the pressure regulator jiggle, so that means it's up to pressure and it's letting that excess pressure out, so now it's going to maintain and level. So you notice we're a little high right there, so Maji's going to throttle the stove back. So you want to go ahead and turn that to 4 on the stove there, Margie. So she's going to put it to 4. 4. Yep, it sure is. And then what's going to happen is this is going to level off because we turn the heat down, so that jiggler, that pressure regulator, the pressure regulator valve, the waste, it'll stop jiggling because she turned the heat down, so this will level off, and then it'll maintain a 10 here eventually, but it's okay to be up above a little bit. It's better to be higher than lower on the temperature. So, but that'll eventually level off to where it's just barely above the 10, and that's exactly what you want. But we're good. So,
ready?
Yep. Okay. Now the time is up. So Maji's going to take the valve off and do that with a glove. So, careful. Yeah, that thing's hot. So, we leave it on the stove. And then you can see all the steam coming out. So, this will bring the pressure down. And after the pressure's down, then we can remove the lid. And then I'll show you all what the jars look like fresh out of the canner.
So let's go.
Okay, you can see that pressure is 0. Now it's safe to remove the lid. So go ahead, Maji. She's going to remove all these bolts on here. Okay, and then when she removes this lid, she's going to face it towards the stove because there's still a lot of steam. And she put it on the pot over here because that lid is really hot still. Okay, and then what she's going to do is take, there they are right there, your jar holders. She's going to take the jar holders and she's going to put them on there and then put them over here on this rack for cooling. And what we want to watch for are these lids right here. We want to hear these pop or ping as they're cooling. That means they're sealing on there. And if they don't do that, you have to do it again within 24 hours. And if they don't do it again, just eat your vegetables. Okay, but you'll notice see, they're really, really hot. So they're boiling in there. And then what I noticed, this one right here is no good. The lid didn't seal, all of the water came out. So this one's no good. You gotta watch for stuff like that. Make sure there's water in there and it's boiling. So we're gonna have to redo that one. Anyway, that's what they look like, and you can see the bubbles on the inside. These things are very hot, so you're going to want to leave these out for about 5-6 hours undisturbed. It takes about that long for these glass jars to cool down. And then make sure and pay attention to the tops of the lids. You want these things to be concaved, and then you'll hear some pinging.